With the International Court of Justice having ruled in favour of India unanimously stating that Pakistan should stay the execution of Kulbhushan Jadhav till the ICJ gives its final verdict, Pakistan has ended up being snubbed on the world stage. But there are other concerns which need to be addressed before Jadhav can be saved. 19th of May, which is today, is the last day for appealing against the death sentence given to Jadhav. Has such an appeal been lodged at an appellate court in Pakistan to defer the death sentence? That is something that Pakistan must answer. There is no answer to this question, with the Pakistani establishment not even revealing whether Jadhav has been provided with a legal counsel to defend himself. It's a long task to find out if an appeal against Jadhav's death sentence has been made. Pakistan will be in contravention of the ICJ's order if it goes ahead and still carries out any action against Jadhav. India's diplomatic eagles have now got their task cut out in ensuring that consular access is sought as early as possible so that Kulbhushan Jadhav's safety can be ensured.
Upon the reasons why the court should not otherwise exercise any jurisdiction or entertain any aspect of India's engagement of its jurisdiction.
Article 1 of the optional protocol provides that the court has jurisdiction over, I quote, disputes arising out of the interpretation or application of the Convention, Vienna Convention.
The jurisdiction under the Vienna Convention of 1963 is not as untrammeled as my learned friend has suggested. It is limited, and indeed it is further limited and qualified or supplemented by the 2008 agreement.
The acts alleged by India are capable of falling within the scope of Article 36, paragraph 1 of the Vienna Convention, which, inter alia, guarantees the right of the sending state to communicate with and have access to its nationals.
It's clear from the Vienna Convention itself that there are provisions beyond Article 36 that need to be considered before coming to the court with the bold assertion that the Vienna Convention is an interrelated regime.
The court considers that the alleged failure by Pakistan to provide the requisite consular notifications with regard to the arrest and detention of Mr. Jadhav, as well as the alleged failure to allow communication and provide access to him, appear to be capable of falling within the scope of the Vienna Convention ratione materia.
The Government of India and the Government of Pakistan, desirous of furthering the objective of humane treatment of nationals of either country arrested, detained or imprisoned in either country, have agreed to reciprocal consular facilities.
The right to consular notification and access between a state and its nationals, as well as the obligations of the detaining state to inform without delay the person concerned of his rights with regard to consular assistance and to allow their exercise.
We saw in the request at paragraph 20 that the court, the President, was urged to act on the request for provisional measures because Commander Jadhav might lose his life any day. India generated a sense of urgency, not Pakistan.
The court also notes that Pakistan has given no assurance that Mr. Jadhav will not be executed before the court has rendered its final decision. In those circumstances, the court is satisfied that there is urgency in the present case.
So there you see some of the members of the team who made it possible. Dr. Mittal, a huge victory of India over Pakistan in the ICJ.
Well, it's a sense of relief and satisfaction, must say, and we are very thankful to the court that they have given this decision today and given an order on provisional measures and held on the prima facie case exists of the violation of the Vienna Convention, and have, by doing so, I think they have given a lot of relief to the family and the parents especially of Mr. Jadhav back home. Yes. And we also I would also put on record the great spirited effort and the arguments which Mr. Harish Salve, our counsel for India, has really put in, and very argued our case. And
so, listen, I'll not ask you the further strategy, but certainly this order and provisional measure has made India's case much stronger for the further hearing. This is something that legally will strong much better for India.
Well, we'll argue our case. I think the court will discuss all the issues on the merit subsequently. But I think the provisional measures which are very imminent, and because the 40-day period was expiring tomorrow, and the coming day before is a sense of great relief for us.
Okay, Dr. Mittal, one last, not question, but a statement, I would say. The entire country is praising the way you did namaste to the Pakistan diplomat.
I don't want to comment.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So there you see the entire team. Dr. Deepak Mittal, he is the Joint Secretary of the Ministry of External Affairs. He was the agent of the Indian government here at the ICJ, the face, I would say, of the Indian team. Along with him, you see the First Secretary, the legal officer, and the press secretary as well of the Indian Embassy. Certainly a crucial reaction coming from the Indian Embassy. Remember, these are the people, the three-member team you just witnessed right outside the Indian Embassy are the people who made this possible. In this entire case go in favor of Indian government. Dr. Mittal, as I mentioned, he's the same diplomat who did that diplomatic namaskar to his counterpart, Pakistani diplomat. He was the agent of the Indian government, the face of the Indian government here at the ICJ. He's a joint secretary level officer and in charge of the Pakistan, Afghanistan and Iran PI desk in the Ministry of External Affairs. Certainly, it's only because of these diplomats and Dr. Mr. Harish Salve and with the huge team from the Prime Minister's office, from the External Affairs office, Ministry of External Affairs and the Law Minister office, because of which the Indian flag is much higher today as compared to the Pakistan flag. Ashish Singh in The Hague, in Netherlands, for NewsX.
In fact, NewsX says Ashish Singh was the first to report from The Hague, and now with the global court ripping apart Pakistan's defense and announcing a pro-India provisional ruling at least, let's just listen in to some legal voices on this ICJ ruling.
One thing is clear, that this is a unanimous decision of 15 judges, and they have held that the issues of jurisdiction and merits and all that will be decided later. But it is very, very clear that the Indian stand is victorious, and I must congratulate the persons concerned, including the Ministry of External Affairs, on the steps they have taken.
This statement of Pak is a very ridiculous statement, because making a statement before the very 11 judges of the high legal remuneries is rather laughing stock. But apart from it, that Pakistan has no basically case that it has violated not only the Vienna Convention but the basic human rights principles.
In fact, many are calling this ruling a major diplomatic victory for the Modi government. Let's hear what top politicians have had to say after the verdict.
It's a great vindication of India's stance, and the entire Indian team at Hague deserves to be congratulated. The External Affairs Minister, Mrs. Sushma Swaraj, who piloted this strategy, Mr. Harish Salve, who effectively argued this matter, deserve a special mention. And I think in the annals of international law, this judgment is a great victory of the rule of law itself.
We must compliment the team of our foreign mission and the foreign ministry led by Sushma Swaraj ji, because the commitment was given in the parliament that India will do everything to help Jadhav's case. So
it's a big setback to Pakistan. They have been rebuffed and rebuked because they tried to mislead the court. They also questioned the jurisdiction of the court. All these arguments raised by them, they have been totally rejected. And Pakistan lies have been exposed. And now, stay has been granted. There will be a regular hearing of the case. Consular access will be allowed. And I am confident at the end of the day, finally, justice will be done and Kulbhushan Jadhav will get released.
I think the biggest defeat in this was not only, of course, the stay order and is till the court decides the final and gives a final judgment, but it's demolished the Pakistan government that they cannot, that they have the Vienna Convention doesn't apply to them because of some bilateral agreement they claimed. It was rejected. That was a big step forward. Two, they have directed them to give consular access as per law, which is another very big defeat.
पाकिस्तान ने जो निर्णय लिया वो गलत है। वो पाकिस्तान के सेना ने निर्णय लिया है। संसद अलग है और सेना अलग है। आप सेना में उसका कोर्ट मार्शल कर रहे हो, लेकिन सरकार को पता होना चाहिए ना। दो देशों का मामला है ये, एक गांव का मामला नहीं है।
इंटरनेशनल कोर्ट ऑफ जस्टिस का ये रूलिंग आने का बाद पाकिस्तान को कुलभूषण जाधव जी को सम्मान पूर्वक भारत में वापस दे देना चाहिए, लौटाना चाहिए। और ये जो जजमेंट दिया गया, ये जजमेंट भारत के लिए, भारत का जनता के लिए बहुत शक्तिदायक है। हम लोग खुश है।
You heard the politicians and the government listen in to what Kulbhushan Jadhav's family and friends had to say. Understandably, they were celebrating last evening after the ruling.
We have just won a battle and the war is still there. So hopefully what we know prima facie is they are harping on and pressing on the confession, which is, I think, is forced confession. And except that, they don't have any other evidence nor any witnesses. But I don't know how they will proceed. But hopefully, knowing all this of history, I don't think they'll succeed. And hopefully, India will come out with true colors, with flying colors.
आज पाकिस्तान की जिस तरह से धज्जियां उड़ी हैं, मैं समझती हूँ कि इससे सबक लेना चाहिए अपनी पुरानी गलतियों से। और बहुत खुशी हुई और उसके परिवार को और सारे हिंदुस्तान को, और खासकर मैं अपनी भारत सरकार को, मोदी जी और सुषमा जी और राजनाथ जी को बधाई देना चाहती हूँ और उनका धन्यवाद करना चाहती हूँ।
In fact, a huge diplomatic embarrassment. Now the Pak army is in a huddle, given the World Court delivered this ruling. In fact, the Pak terror apologists are hiding their faces to shield from the embarrassment at the ICJ. Listen in to some of the reactions coming in from Pakistan's foreign ministry.
Many clauses have been added to the earlier declaration, including excluding all matters related to the national security of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, which in the current case totally excludes the jurisdiction of ICJ under Article 36(2) in our view, after India stood exposed in state-sponsored terrorism, terror financing, spying and subversive activities. It has desperately tried to divert the world attention by presenting Kulbhushan's case from humanitarian angle. India is trying to defend a person whose actions have led to the killing of scores of innocent Pakistanis.
जो वियना कन्वेंशन के मुताबिक उन्होंने कहा कि उसका, लेकिन उसको ऑपरेशनल ऑर्डर में शामिल नहीं किया। सिर्फ ये कहा है कि उस जो आपकी बायलेटरल एग्रीमेंट है वो उसके राइट को अफेक्ट नहीं करती। लेकिन हमारा उसमें मौक़िफ़ ये है कि उसके सिक्योरिटी डायमेंशन भी इक्वली इम्पोर्टेंट है, क्योंकि अगर ये जो जिस किस्म की एक्टिविटीज में ये इन्वॉल्व था, दहशतगर्दी और सबवर्शन में, उसमें उसका जो कांटेक्ट है किसी इंडियन वकील के साथ या नुमाइंदे के साथ, वो इस सिक्योरिटी इश्यूज में कोई ऐसी चीज तो नहीं जाएगी जो हमारे लिए खतरा बन सकता है। तो इसलिए ये दूसरा पहलू है वियना कन्वेंशन से हटके। तो इस पर अगर जरूर हमारे वकील जरूर समझेंगे तो कोई ना कोई दलील पेश करेंगे। लेकिन असली मसला जो है वो ये है कि जिसका मैरिज का केस है, जिसमें उसकी जुरिस्डिक्शन आती है, और वो जाहिर है कि जो कुलभूषण के खिलाफ मुकदमा चल रहा है वो अपने कवानीन के मुताबिक चलता रहेगा, उसमें इंटरनेशनल कोर्ट को कोई इख्तियार नहीं है। वो सिर्फ ड्यू प्रोसेस को देख रहे हैं कि इंसाफ के तकाजे पूरे हो रहे हैं कि नहीं हो रहे, और वो वैसे भी हमारे कानून के मुताबिक हम कर रहे हैं। तो ये अगले मरहले में जो उनकी जुरिस्डिक्शन है या मैरिज पे हमने यही चैलेंज किया है कि जब तक दोनों फरीक तैयार ना हो ये मैरिज पे फैसला, ये चीज जुरिस्डिक्शन नहीं बनती उनकी।